don't know what y'all been talking.
Ashley with 2 E's.
You already know.
This is the Rumor Report
It's a full circle moment for me.
on The Breakfast Club.
What's happening?
Let me pop it off. Yeah, so obviously the biggest topic this morning is Tory Lanez being sentenced to 10 years in prison. So yesterday, Judge David Hereford sentenced Tory Lanez to 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. He was convicted in December of 3 felonies: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Here's a statement.
Rapper Tory Lanez gets 10 years in prison for shooting and injuring Megan Thee Stallion. Lanez was convicted of 3 felonies in the case back in December. The judge said it was, quote, difficult to reconcile the kind person and good father many described Lanez as being with the man who fired the gun at Megan. Megan testified that Lanez fired the gun at her feet and shouted for her to dance as she walked away from an SUV. This was back in July of 2020. DA George Gascon read a statement from Megan Thee Stallion.
Fortunately, the district attorney's office fought for me. I'm incredibly grateful to them and the jury for their attention to the evidence and siding with the truth. But it can happen. If it can happen to me, imagine those who lack the resources and support systems to help them.
So remember, it's been 3 years since this shooting happened. It happened in 2020. And prior to sentencing, Tory was seeking probation or a minimal prison sentence while prosecutors were asking for 13 years. I think the maximum was like 22. So he got 10. And inside the courtroom, Tory said, if I could turn back the series of events that night and change them, I would. The victim was my friend, speaking about Megan. The victim is someone I still care for to this day. And everything I did wrong that night, I take full responsibility for.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting for everybody who keeps saying they don't believe Tory did this. Like, as you just read, Ashley, according to NBC News, he said in court yesterday he apologized for his actions and said he took full responsibility for the shooting.
Yeah.
One of his exact quotes was, if I could change it, like you just said, if I could change it, I would, but I can't. Everything I did that night, I take full responsibility. I'm just truly trying to be a better person, which I don't understand, because why would you wait until the day you are sentenced to come clean? Like, everything his lawyers was trying to do, like saying that he had childhood trauma and an alcohol problem, that only works if you admit you did it. So if that was going to be your defense, he should have came clean a whole lot earlier. You don't wait till the day of sentencing.
Like, even yesterday, they said, like, if I did do it, it's because I suffer from trauma and alcoholism. It's like he was trying to look for every plausible deniability loophole that there was.
I was about to say, F the internet. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting your information from the internet, from the narrative created online, then you're going to be misinformed all the time, especially when it comes to legal cases. Because when I read the details of this case a couple of years ago, the actual court documents, and I saw all the evidence that was against Tory, including the recorded phone call from jail with him apologizing while Megan was in the hospital, I knew he'd be found guilty.
Well, that's the problem.
And I couldn't understand why Tory was doing what he was doing on social media. I didn't understand why he put an album out talking about the incident. Like, there was absolutely zero reason for Tory Lanez to be trying this case in the court of public opinion the way he was.
Well, that's the problem. Most people don't read. They're not going to go through the affidavit. They're going to see what the headlines are and go with the headlines. And even like yesterday, people were talking. They were comparing cases. They were comparing this to the Pop Smoke case where the guy who one of the dudes got 4 years, and it was like, well, how does he get 4 years for murder and this happened for this? So people just compare things for no reason. They're totally two different cases, but
two different states.
Two different states, and so I guess
it was the same state.
It was both for California. Yeah, it was both for California. So I guess he'll have to serve the 10 years, and then he'll get deported back to Canada.
So he got to serve it here and then get deported.
Yeah, he has to serve it here, and then he gets deported.
Well, 85% of the time.
85% of
and he's already done, what, 10 months?
Yes.
He's probably do like, what, 7
years?
But that sound like, does that matter, like good behavior? Or it doesn't matter?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's always good behavior. You get 85% of the time with good behavior.
Okay. Well, also in this case, the LA County DA, George Gascon, he said that women, especially black women, are afraid to report crimes like assault because they are too often not believed. And he commends Megan Thee Stallion for her incredible bravery and vulnerability as she underwent months of probing investigation and court appearances where she had to relive her trauma and the public scrutiny that followed.
Yeah, okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I just would never understand why Tory was doing what he was doing on social media. Like, I would never understand why he tried to try this case in the court of public opinion. None of that ever mattered. It doesn't matter what anybody online thinks about this situation. It's about what happens in that actual courtroom.
Well, what was he doing when this happened? Quarantine radio. So that was his thing, was going to Instagram and like, let me get these people to to co-sign me. Let me get some support. Maybe I can show like.
But I think as a community, we always have that problem. Like if there's a situation, if anything is going on, the best thing to do is if you have a good attorney, is he'll tell you to shut the F up and handle it in court. And then when court's over, then you could run around and say what you want to say or whatever it may be, because whatever you say, as we've seen in this case, can be used against you in a court of law. So
they said he was antagonizing Megan online. Like a lot of the reason that he got this stiff sentence is because of the stuff that he was doing online.
Correct.
Because he was wilding.
I don't get it.
A lot of y'all ask why I call myself Ashley with 2 E's, because the Ashley with the Y is a little crazy. Because there was an Ashley that showed up to the courtroom who was like a crazed super fan of Tory Lanez. That's what she said.
I'm a woman, and I'll beat the out of a riot scientist. Do you get it? Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. I don't give a how hard she is, all right? And that's how Tory Lanez fans feel about him. We'll go to war for him, period. When I see her, along with Megan Thee Stallion, they're lucky as that we are being nice. Megan should thank me, because if it wasn't for me, Megan Thee Stallion thinks, y'all. She has an album out talking about, oh, I have anxiety. Oh, I can't think correct. I really came for Megan Thee Stallion, and I really made my team move the way that they can move. What type of music will really be coming out, y'all? That don't got no anxiety. I will bring anxiety to her.
I just want to clarify that woman's name was Ashley Ramirez with a Y.
Yeah, I can promise you none of that helped Tory in court.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If the person you are defending is on trial for something violent, you probably don't need to show support by acting violent.
Yeah. But then if you look at some of the viral tweets in support of Tory, some are saying Tory Lanez didn't deserve 10 years. That's insane. They'll crucify a black man any chance they get. Someone said Tory Lanez getting sentenced to 10 years in prison for a shawty that was twerking shortly after the incident is disheartening, to say the least. I don't know what to make of that. How someone gets shot and
people have the right for their opinions. People feel what they want to feel, and like Charlamagne said earlier, a lot of people don't know what actually happened in the case. Yeah. So they're just basing this off of internet and not off of the facts. And sometimes the facts show a different light.
One day we're gonna have a conversation about, do people have the right to their opinion? I think people have the right to an informed opinion.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? If your opinion is just based on, a false narrative, or your opinion is based on lies, I don't think you have the right to that. I
agree.
think you have the right to an informed
You're right.
opinion.
Yeah, an informed opinion.
You know what I mean? An opinion rooted in facts.
Correct.
I know you're not on Twitter no more, but there's a little fact check box that shows up when you tweet. I feel like everybody needs to finish.
Does
a
it
course.
work?
No.
Doesn't work.
Sometimes it'll do you want to read the article before you tweet it? It's nah, just tweet it.
So it'll fact check it and then give you the actual information?
But someone has to go in and fact check it and put something. But anyway, now on to Made in America Festival has been canceled. Yesterday it was announced that the Philly Festival that takes place every September has been canceled this year. Lizzo and SZA were set to headline the festival, and fans speculated that it was because of the heat that Lizzo is currently facing right now. But the official statement cites the cancellation being a result of production issues outside of their control. And it does say due to severe circumstances outside of production control, they can no longer have this festival. But I don't think even if it is Lizzo, they can easily replace.
Yeah, don't they out there? Right? Isn't it 2 headliners always?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had. It was supposed to be Lizzo and SZA.
I said SZA.
SZA, yeah, no, Lizzo and SZA.
But they had they had Lotto, they had Doechii, they had a whole bunch of a team, an army.
I wonder if it was low ticket sales. Because a lot of these concerts have had a lot of low ticket sales.
You trying to throw a festival the year Drake and Beyonce are touring?
That's true.
It ain't gonna happen.
They couldn't find a bigger artist than Lizzo? There's got to be somebody bigger than Lizzo that they could put, right?
Who? Beyonce's on tour. Drake's on tour.
I don't know. Did you even need a double headliner? It's probably low ticket sales. That's probably what it is.
Probably low ticket sales.
They also had Miguel, Thames, Ice Spice, Metro Boomin, Coi Leray, Lotto, Lola Brooke, Coco Jones, Doechii.
Oh, come on now.
And many more.
They would have been fine. It's low ticket sales.
I mean, again, this is the year that Beyonce, Drake, Taylor Swift all went on tour. Three of the biggest artists.
Right.
People ain't got money for that.
All right. Well, that is your rumor report. Now, when we come back, we got front page news. Tezlyn Figaro will be joining us, and LL Cool J and the Roots will be joining us. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club on BET.
Wake that ass up
early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.